Welcome everyone. In this video we see a simple C++ program, how to create a simple C++ program. So this is my code blocks. I have already created a project. So I am clicking this open an existing project. Either you can click this link or you can go to file and click open. In either way you can do it. I have a project name auto_batch1. Let me open that. Now I have the project here in my code blocks. Under the source I have some file called sample4.cpp. Let it be. Let me create a new file. Click here, click empty file, and let me give a name as sample1.cpp. Now I have a new file, sample1.cpp. Like I said earlier, you have to remove the previous file. Let me right click on the sample4, remove file from project. Okay. So let's start typing. Let's create a program to print a string, any string, using class and as well as an object. So please recollect the structure of C++, whatever which I mentioned in the previous video. First, we should have the header file. The header file hash include iostream. You don't need to mention the extension .h. It is not required in code blocks. Just mention as iostream. That's enough. Next in the structure, you have to mention the namespace using namespace std, and please end with semicolon. And next we have to create a class. So class space, give a class name. Let me give us a name. And inside the class we have member functions, that is data member and member function. In this program we are going to print a string, so you no need to create any data member. We focus on creating a function. Let me say this is the return type of the function. I'm saying void space, and then we have to give the function name. Let me give us fun, and this open bracket and close bracket represents this fun is a function, and again open the curly brace. Now we have to print a string. So in C we use printf for printing anything, printing the string or printing any number. In C++ we use cout, and we have to use this backward symbol, and inside the double quotes say welcome all. Close the double quotes and end with semicolon. We are done here. So we have created a class, and this is my class name. I'm giving us name, and inside the class I have created a function. I'm giving a return type. It is must you have to give a return type. I'm giving us void, and this is my function name fun, and this is a symbol representing function. Open the curly brace. Inside the curly brace you have to give what you want to give. Here we are going to print a string, so I'm giving cout, and this is a symbol you have to use for cout, backward symbol, and I'm giving string as welcome all. So this should be printed in the output screen. I'm not doing anything. I'm not going to call this function inside the class. We can't do that. We have to call only using a main function. So in the structure after the class we have to create the main function. And here in C++, the default return type of main should be int main of. Again, I'm using this open bracket and close bracket as because it represents it's a main function. Open the curly brace. So inside the main function, we have to create an object. That should be the first step. So the object should be created for the class name. So first mention the class name. It is name space, and you have to create an object. It can be a variable. So I'm creating a small n. That's the object I have created for the class name. Now using this object, I can call any variable or any function that is present inside the class name. So obviously we have only one function, that is fun of. I'm going to call that function. So n dot fun of semicolon. That's how you call any function or any variable. You should use the object and then a dot symbol and then the function name of. That's it, and say return 0. Since you have used the return type as int, you have to mention return 0. That's it. Now let's see the output. Okay, we have a shortcut build and run with this. Oh, we have an error. Anything that you see over here like red color box that represent we have an error in this line or above this line or below this line. Let's see what it is. This is our logs. Here it will mention very clearly what kind of error we have made. Void name scope fun of is private. Yeah, we forgot to mention the access specifier. Every time you create a class, you have to mention the access specifier. There are three kinds: public, private, protect. We come to that part later. Default, it should be public. You have to mention public so that anyone can access. Now let me save this and run again. Yeah, we got the output. Welcome all. That's the output we expected, and we got that. Very simple C++ program. And let's see another program to use member variable, and let's see how to use the parameters inside the function, and let's see how to use an object to call a variable or a function. We go step by step. Let's move on to the second program. The second program, again we go a very simple concept. Let me get two variables. Let me get the input from the end user. Here we didn't use any values or variables here. In the next program, we are going to get two numbers, two values from the end user. We are going to add it, store it inside a variable, and I'm going to display the output. Adding two numbers. So let me create a new file. So I want to save that. Let me give us sample2.cpp. Okay. Now we have to remove the previous one, sample1, remove file from project. Alright, we're ready to go. So let's start. Header file hash include IO stream, and then using namespace std. Create a class. Let me say stu as a class name. Alright. We are going to deal with three variables here. I am going to get two input from the end user, and these two values are going to be added and stored in the third variable. So I am going to use A, B, C. A and B will be the two input, and C is going to store the additional value of A and B. Now we have to mention the return type. It's a very important one. We are going to deal only with integer. We are not dealing with float or double value. So I'm saying int space. And before that, inside the class, we have to mention the access specifier. It should be public. And I have declared three variables: integer a, b, c, n with semicolon. Now let me create a function. Void space. You have to give a function name. Let me say marks. And now we don't need to see about how to pass an argument inside the function. Let's keep it clear now. Now I need to get two inputs, A and B, from the end user. Like in C program, we use printf scanf. Here we use cout, cin, cout, equal symbol, enter the first mark with semicolon. This is printf, and scanf. We use cin and we use forward symbol and the variable name a. That's it. And end with semicolon. Now for the second variable b, again cout, enter the second mark, cin b. Now we got two inputs. We need to add this and store in C equal to a plus b. Now I need to print this C value. So again I have to use cout, total is, and again open. Both the values, that is a and b, are added and stored inside C. So I have to call this variable C here. So type C, but listen, we should not be giving this variable inside double quotes. Anything that you give inside the double quotes is going to be printed as it is. If you are not giving anything under double quotes, the value is going to be printed in cout. That's the difference. We are done with marks function. That's it. We go to the main function, integer main of. Now we have to create an object for the class 2, stu space, let me say s1 as object name. Now I need to call this function marks. So s1 dot marks of, and say return 0. So now save the program and let's run this program. Enter the first mark. Let me give 58, second mark 98, total is 156. We got the output. That's simple, isn't it? Alright, so now you might have a question, do we want to give the cin statement separately for each and every variable? No, it's not mandatory. We have to give it separately for each and every variable. It's going to take more time if we have more variables. You can give in one single line also. Let me modify this first and second mark. So again I use a forward symbol and I use b here. So let me hide this. For hiding any particular line, you have to use 2 forward slash. Again, I can hide this. Now you can see I am getting the input a and b in one single statement. Again, let me save and run this. Okay, so I gave 89 space 78 and 67. So try to reduce the number of lines that we use in the programming. We know C and C++, it takes more number of lines to execute a very simple concept. Now, let's do a small change over here. Instead of printing this value C, which I have mentioned here, inside the marks function, I am mentioning cout total is C. Instead of calling this output inside this function, why can't I call this output in the main function? Can I able to do that? All the performances, that is the input which I am getting and the addition part, everything is happening inside the marks function. Can I get this output outside of this function and can I use inside the main function? Is it possible? Of course it is. We have to make a few changes. First, since we are taking a value outside of this function, we have to change the return type. We are returning an integer value. C is going to hold the integer value. So I am saying int marks of, so let it be A and B the same, and C equal to A plus B. Now I am not going to print the output from this function, so I need to hide this. Let me hide this. We need to add one more line since the value is stored here. Now this should be written here in this integer value. So I am saying return C. Now what happens is this value, the return C value is going to be stored inside the function marks of. So if I want to call C, instead of C I have to use marks of. Now come here. So I have created an object S1. Now S1 dot marks is going to hold the C variable. So let me give this under C out. And let's check what happens. Let me save this program and run. Okay. Marks 78 space 50. I got the output. So this is another way. Instead of printing the output from the function, I am printing the output from main function. So understand the steps that we have made. First, I am changing the return type since I am going to take the output outside. What is going to be the output? It is going to be integer value. So I say int marks of. Rest all are going to be same. I am including one more statement here. I am saying return C. If you are not using this return C, it is not going to be taking the value outside of this function. It is must whenever you use a return type, apart from void, if you use any return type, you use integer, float or any return type, you have to use return and give a meaningful variable what you are going to return. Here the value C is storing the value, so I am using C here. So inside the main function, I have created an object S1 dot marks of. This is going to hold the value of C. Now I need to print it, so I am giving inside the C out without double quotes. So if I am giving anything without double quotes, the answer is going to be printed. I hope you all understand how this function and how this class works. So let me make one more change over here. Can I use a default variable? I am saying I am getting a value of A and then I am getting a value of B. Can I set a default value for A? I am saying A equal to 50. I am setting a default value. And if I run, again I am getting the value for A from the end user. Remember, I have set a default value for A, even though I am getting a value for A from the end user and as well as for B. So let us check whether it works. If it works, which value is going to be taken? Whether the default value is going to be taken or the value which I am going to enter is going to be taken. Let's check. Let me save and run this program. That I give A as 50, so let me give 100 space 89. So it is supposed to print 189 or 89 plus 50. Let's check. It's taking my value. Instead of the default value, it is taking this 100. It is not taking this 50 here. Alright, so 100 plus 89 is giving 189. So if I am giving a default value and if the end user value is also been asked, then end user value is also been given, it's going to consider only the end user, not the default value. What if I am not asking for the end user value? I am saying A equal to 50 and I am asking the end user only the B value. What happens now? Let's check. Now I have to give only one value. I am giving 80. Enter. See? So the default value 50 is added with 80 and it gives 130. So that's how a default argument works. That means I am making a variable as a default value. Hope you all clear with this concept. So in the next video, let's see a few more examples. We have to get familiarized with this C++. We need to go more functions, more variables, and we have to introduce more parameters inside the function. So if you're using a parameter, how the values are going to be passed. So let's take a few more videos to check or familiarize with this C++, and then we go for the various types of functions in C++. Thank you.